Fog is a cloud that occurs at ground level, made of water droplets suspended in the air. The warmer the air, the more water it can hold. When the air cools, it loses its ability to hold moisture and is fully saturated when the air cools to the dew point. If it cools past the dew point, it can't hold all that water vapor, and the vapor condenses around microscopic particles to form fog droplets. Radiation fog. Radiation fog forms at night under clear skies with calm winds when the heat is absorbed by the Earth's surface during the day. As the Earth's surface continues to cool, a deep layer of moist air is present near the ground and the humidity will reach 100% and fog will form. Radiation fog varies from 3 feet to about 1,000 feet and is always found at ground level. This type of fog can reduce visibility to near zero at times and can make driving very hazardous.
Upslope fog forms when light winds push moist air up a hillside or mountainside to a level where the air becomes saturated and condensation occurs. This type of fog usually forms a good distance from the peak of the hill or mountain and covers a large area. Upslope fog occurs in all mountain ranges in North America. This usually occurs during the winter months, when cold air behind a cold front drifts westward and encounters the eastward-facing slopes of the Rocky Mountains. As the cold air and moist air rises up the slopes of the mountains, condensation occurs, and extensive areas of fog form on the lower slopes of the mountains.
Freezing fog occurs when the water droplets that the fog is composed of are supercooled. Supercooled water droplets remain in the liquid state until they come into contact with a surface upon which they can freeze. As a result, any object the freezing fog comes into contact with will become coated with ice. The same thing happens with freezing rain or drizzle.
Valley fog is a type of radiation fog that is very common in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. When air along ridgetops and the upper slopes of mountains begin to cool after sunset, the air becomes dense and heavy and begins to drain down into the valley floors. As the air in the valley floors continues to cool due to radiation cooling, the air becomes saturated and fog forms. Valley fog can be very dense at times and make driving very hazardous due to reduced visibility. This type of fog tends to dissipate very quickly once the sun comes up and starts to evaporate the fog. There's also aviation fog that can cause disruption of visibility in the stratosphere.
Advection fog often looks like radiation fog and is also the result of condensation. However, the condensation in this case is caused not by a reduction in surface temperature, but rather by the horizontal movement of warm moist air over a cold surface. This means that advection fog can sometimes be distinguished from radiation fog by its horizontal motion along the ground. Thick fog occurs in industrial areas because of pollution particles.
This type of fog forms when sufficient water vapor is added to the air by evaporation and the moist air mixes with the cooler, relatively drier air. The two common types are steam fog and frontal fog. Steam fog forms when cold air moves over warm water. When the cool air mixes with the warm moist air of the water, the moist air cools until its humidity reaches 100% and fog forms. This type of fog takes on the appearance of wisps of smoke rising off the surface of the water. Fog causes a visibility of less than 1,000 meters. Transportation disruption occurs at 50 meters.
To be safe, always slow down when you're driving in dense fog. This will allow you to increase the distance between your car and any cars in front of you that you cannot see.
Yo, is that fog over there?
I don't think so.
What?
Is it fog? I can't see it.
It is also important to switch your headlights to low beams. When you drive through fog with your headlights on high, the large amount of light from your car's headlights will scatter off the fog droplets and back into your eyes, which will reduce visibility.
Looks great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Oh no. Is that fog?
No, 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 no.
There is a lot of smog in industrial cities because there is more dust and pollution particles for the water vapor to attach to.
Go.